Ooh. Okay. 1 second here. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay, can you hear me? Hello? Let me see here. Can you hear me now? Try to find that. Anybody hear me now? Microphone on.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, I can hear you now. Cool.
All right, great.
Awesome. Seems like everything's working. I'm just gonna wait for a few more guys to jump on here.
All right. Well, number one, thanks for doing that. This is greatly appreciated and
Yeah, no
nice
problem.
meeting other people from the community and someone nice as you to do that kind of call. This is very nice. Thank you.
Oh, sure, no problem. Um, I guess while we wait, Charles, what kind of work do you do?
I do mostly corporate stuff. I do interviews. I do a lot of events
Yeah,
as
cool.
well.
Yeah.
Trying to get into more into conference work, more like 3 days conference, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I live in Miami where it's parties everywhere, so I kind of do I do that kind of work as well. I do
Okay,
weddings also.
cool.
But this is where I put my limit. I don't want to do music videos or that kind of stuff. But yeah. Yeah, I would record pretty much any type of event that we have in Miami until it gets a little crazy. So yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you do?
So right now I work at a company. I do have a couple of clients on the side,
Hmm.
but I work for Balance of Nature. I'll probably have to edit that out later. I don't know. I work for a company
Okay.
and it's a supplement company and they um it's like a health food kind of company.
Yeah.
And so it's like little product shots. And then we also do a lot of interviews for those. I do most of the digital video. We have a whole team that just does TV for us.
Okay.
And I I've written a lot of ads, made a lot of scripts, and um I've done a lot of that, like writing voiceovers and um produced a lot for them. So that's a lot of what I do. I've done some events on the side, and then I have another marketing client that I just do a lot of different things for, not
Uh,
just video. Oh, there you are.
I'm
You're back.
sorry, you're breaking up to you talked about you have a company that I mean in your company some people do TV as well, and then
Oh,
I lost you.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do TV as well, and I've done a lot of deliveries for streaming and some for TV. And then,
Hmm.
but I do most of the digital content. So um, I've done a lot of like TikToks, and so I've got a
Hmm.
lot of views for them. We recently had to take down a lot of TikToks because we're afraid of the FDA coming after us for some of the things that we said. Apparently, we're just being
Okay.
super careful. That's how you are with any supplement company.
Supplement. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wrote a lot of scripts. We stretched our budget pretty good. Got about 11 million views with the stuff that I made and put on our TikTok. And
Okay.
then it was like UGC style stuff.
Hmm.
And so just like pretending to be a user, trying this stuff out. And so I came up with these scripts myself, wrote them. I have examples on my website, kind of what I do there.
Okay.
And they did some decent sales. We got, I think, a 3 times return on our ad spend. So
That's not bad.
yeah, I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people are going to jump on here. We got you, Jared. Okay. I don't know if anybody else, let me check on my phone real quick, see if anybody else is hopping on or if they have a problem.
Okay.
If not, we'll just I'm just gonna send it out. Maybe the time difference is messing some people up.
Yeah, I saw an invite. I saw an address from Germany, I believe,
Yeah.
and that's the case. It's 2 a.m. over there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he was like, "Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna be there." Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Oh, I need to turn that off airplane mode so that it actually sends. Okay, well, oh, did I already send that? Okay. Okay, well, that's it. I guess we'll just get started. Because we only have like 35 more minutes. So I'll just
Okay.
share what I
Yeah.
got and share with you guys. It'll be a little bit more personalized so you can ask me questions.
Okay. No worries.
Google Chrome. Cool. Okay, and I'm gonna go to slideshow. All right, let me go back here. So I don't know, I just titled this how to produce video ads because I think of this as like um how to make stuff that works and how to make stuff that clients are gonna like that you can keep getting their business.
Mm.
People always have these questions about like they don't know what kind of video they should make. It's like, what's the video and how do you know if the video is going to do what you want it to do? So I've kind of spent a lot of time figuring that out. I call myself a creative marketer because I do marketing, but I'm very video and photo heavy with my skill set.
Hmm.
Um, I come from a film school background, so I split my degree with film school and marketing courses, and marketing classes. So I got a bachelor's degree in integrated studies, and
Hmm.
I got to just pick the classes that were important for me to take, and none of the ones that were just filler classes that they make you take. So
Okay.
it was great. I got to choose my own adventure. So I did actually go through film school, but I still saw some value from getting full-time filmmaker because there's a lot
Hmm.
of content in there that they don't cover in film school. And I was lucky enough to get a film school experience where they actually had us making the stuff we wanted to make. So
Yeah.
we got to make a bunch of short films instead of just getting shoved a bunch of theory in our face. Um,
Okay.
so I here want to know what questions you guys have, what you came here to kind of learn about.
Hmm.
So I guess Charles, since you're on, you want to tell me?
Yeah. How to get clients to see our ads and sign the check and get money. This is mostly the big question that I have. Obviously, I tried a couple of Google ads, Facebook
Mm-hmm.
ads, and the results weren't great because I don't have the skill set to produce ads that are relevant and get views and I mean views and get leads and people signing up for whatever we're trying to sell. And I guess this is
Gotcha.
the main question, but I'm probably gonna have other questions on the way.
Okay, cool. Yes. And what I've got here is just how to make stuff that works. And if you make stuff that works, and you do have to find somebody who's willing to let you make it for them, of course. But
Yeah.
obviously, you make stuff that works, word travels. But this will also be good for your own ads that you make to try to sell yourself because
Mm.
you'll kind of understand what kind of stories you need to tell people. Oh, hey, sweet, we got Danny on. Um, Danny, you're lucky we didn't get too far in. You want to say hi real quick? Tell us about yourself. Looks like he's connecting to audio.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny, do you want to introduce yourself real quick? We didn't get too far in yet. Danny, Jared, either of you want to introduce yourself? Okay, maybe I'll just keep going. Okay, so yeah, so that's me. Went to school to learn how video and marketing work together so that you can make really good stuff. And so now you can kind of learn to make your own ads, but also make ads for people that will keep them wanting to hire you because there's unlimited budget for creative that works.
Yeah.
So that's really it. They're like, of course, we're going to put more money into it if it works. So I've made some stuff that has worked. I made stuff that hasn't worked. 11 million views later on our company's TikTok. I think I've kind of figured out, like, I think I have a good system down. So questions that Charles had here is that how to get clients to see our ads, how to get leads, how to get sales. And a lot of that is about starting with like your target audience, figuring out what kinds of people you want to target. I have kind of a strategy that I use. There's a couple of books. There's one called Book Yourself Solid. I'd recommend reading that book because it helps you build a big, it talks about social media. It talks about your referral system. It talks about basically just trying to find places to go. I know a lot of people go to trade shows to find clients. Right now, I'm just slowly trying to build clients. I'm not like super jumping into it right now. But you definitely want to find, like, you want to have a good policy so you can work with clients that are your ideal clients and not just anybody who comes, right? At first, you kind of just try to get any job that you can. That book is good for that. And then I'd also recommend two other ones. Alex Hormozy, he has $100 million offers and $100 million leads. And so that's just about coming up with an offer that people can't refuse, right?
What was the title of the book? I'm sorry. $100
million offers, and then you got $100 million leads.
Is that two different books?
Yeah, two books. The offers book is like 99 cents if you get it on Kindle.
Okay.
And so you just get that. It's also, the audio version is free on Alex Hormozy's podcast, which is what's it called? It's called The Game or Master the Game or something like that. If you just look up him. I'd recommend those if you're like wanting to get leads, get sales, get people to see your ads. Like, yeah, it's difficult. I've been Google Ads certified and I've tried running ads before. I'm just not super great at it. That's something that I'm going to outsource because I'm so much more focused on the content creation side of things and the business, like the content strategy, that I just like, I have people for that. I'd probably reach out to.
This is probably what I'm gonna end up doing as well, because it's time consuming, and I don't even know if I'm doing it right. And I would get a call. I just received an email earlier today about us. We found you on Google. I'm pretty sure that was an ad, but it's do I really want to dig through all the data, making sure that this ad is performing well? I just don't want to waste the money that I'm investing in it, but I understand that I'm gonna have to do ads regardless. I would prefer to have someone that knows how to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm okay at it. I've run TikTok ads before. I've run Google ads, but I'm just like, that's not the thing that's not my best thing. So I outsource that. I mean, the other thing is too, I've started doing this other, I have so many books I've read. There's The Go Giver, and that strategy, it's not really a business strategy. It's just like a life strategy. Like you just give without expecting to receive. I also would pair that with with finding people that are your ideal clients. So I have a few friends that I'm like, okay, they're small now, their business is going to grow. I do things for them that take almost no time for me, but would be a big value to them. So I went into my friend's barbershop and I just snapped some photos for her real quick, and probably better photos than she could take. And it took me 20 minutes to take those photos, an hour to edit. And for me right now, where I'm at, I'm good with that. And I know that she's recommending me to restaurants and stuff right now, places that I would like to get work from. And then my biggest client that I have right now for marketing, it's just because I made good friends with another videographer. I went on a couple of shoots with him for free and just helped him out. And somehow that connection, that just giving really helped. So I would recommend those books. Focus on giving, and then like thinking about like 100 million, that book, $100 million offers. If you read that book, you'll start to get good business like right away. You'll know exactly what you need to do. And
Okay.
anyway, so I'll keep going here, so we can get you guys some good value. So here's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about my strategy. I'm going to talk about the pre-production process that I do, like coming up with a beat sheet is one thing, and then I have storyboards, scripts, and a shot list. So I'll show you how I do all of those, because I do a lot of the producing side as well, not just shooting and editing, but I do that a lot of pre-production to make sure that we get the quality that we want, and make sure that we're making the right ad for one. So the marketing team at my work comes and asks me for an ad, and then I make sure that I target it specifically to the job that they want it to do, and the audience that they want it for, and definitely platform too. So first off, this is the basic strategy or basic structure of an ad. Most ads, if it's like they have a hook, story, offer, right? That's just like the basic thing. You spend a lot more time figuring out your hook and your offer and testing those things. And somebody who understands that businesses need to test them, because you might make one ad and run it, and the business owner will say, well, that didn't work, so I guess we're not hiring this guy again. Instead, I would look at it and say, okay, let's record a couple different hooks, or 3 or 4 different hooks and 3 or 4 different offers, because you're going to need stuff to test. And a good marketing guy is going to know that you're going to need to test. If they ask you for one ad and that's like this, has a script, has a voiceover or something, and they're not testing, they're not doing the best that they can for the business they're working for. So I would definitely recommend, if they ask you for a video, also say, all right, well, what are some different hooks you like? Let's try some different hooks. Let's try some different offers. Because they're going to perform differently. So anyway, that's the best way you can do it. So that way they understand, hey, we might have to try a few things before we find what works. But like same with, like, if I pick up a marketing client, I tell them, look, you're not going to see results within 2 weeks. Most of the time, it might take up to 6 months to, like, for anybody to actually see some results from what you're doing. So like, it's like, hey, I'm willing to work with you kind of thing. It's a relationship that you're building. I mostly try to just get people that are willing to do like retainers or consistent work.
Of course, in ads specifically, I mean, there's no way you're gonna really get a base of client looking. I mean, on a 1 month basis, it has to be at least, I guess, 6 months. I'm 1 year into a campaign that I'm running, and I've seen results for the past 2-3 months, but last year, not much.
Yeah, there you go. And you might have to get some organic content and stuff that you can do to keep them going. And then your paid stuff, you might have to test a bunch of stuff. But this is going to help you figure out what to test. So I like to start with figuring out the levels of customer awareness. Have you heard of these before?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. There are these 5. There's unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and then most aware. The ones that you're going to work with most of the time, I think, are going to be problem aware, solution aware, and product aware. And then sometimes unaware, and then the most aware is the kind of content that people are making to keep customers. That's your email list, that's your blog.
Yeah, just a reminder.
Yeah, just keep them happy, and try to find ways to remarket to them. But so people are unaware. Like, I'm going to talk about a shovel, because shovels are pretty easy. Oh, we got, sorry, how do you say your name, man? Tahir?
Yeah, that's right. Tahir.
Okay, sweet. I'm recording this whole thing too, so I'll send it to you when I'm done so that you can see the rest of the stuff that you missed.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah, cool. But feel free to chime in and ask a question if you need to. It's a small group here, and I think you and Charles are the only ones that are basically talking right now. So
okay, no problem.
Cool. So this is a good place to start anyway. These levels of awareness. I'll just talk about selling shovels. Okay, so maybe somebody is digging holes with a stick, or they're digging holes with their hands because they're not aware that there's a better solution. They just, or they don't know they have a problem. Maybe they think that digging with their hands is the way to do it. So you need to make sure that they know, hey, there's a better way. Like digging holes with your hands kind of hurts. So their problem aware is, and so then they get to the problem aware stage. They know they have a problem. They just don't know what the solution is for it. And that's when you bring up the point, hey, maybe you should try a shovel. Now they know about that there's a solution, right? And you need to, like, the solution is get a shovel. Product aware at this point, like product aware would mean that they know that there's a bunch of different kinds of shovels. There's wooden handled shovels, there's plastic shovels, there's fiberglass shovels, and some shovels that are made out of better material than others. There's shovels that, anyway, different kinds of shovels, right? And then at this point, you're just trying to tell people why your shovel is better than everybody else's shovel. So you need to think about the level of awareness that the customer has of the product, and that's where you need to start. I've found that a lot of times people think that so one time, I made a couple ads for let's say, for example, Huntsman Senior Games is a big thing. I'm from Utah, and it's an international, it's like the Olympics, but for elderly people. People come from everywhere, like Jamaica and stuff. West Coast, East Coast. And I was asking them, I was like, all right, so I thought people already were product aware. I was like, okay, so people probably already know about Huntsman, right? And they're like, oh no, the ads that we're running are people who have no idea that Huntsman Senior Games exists. And I was like, oh, well, we need to start here at Problem Aware, because we need to let them know, like, hey, there's this thing happening, and no, they have no information about it. So the first thing we need to do is make them aware of it. So we do more of an awareness ad, and it's more of like a branding ad, but also a lot of information about what it is and where they need to go to find out more. So our goal there was go find out more. We weren't trying to tell them in that ad, go sign up, So
you need to tell them what it is first.
Yeah, there's a different goal and there's a different thing that you're doing. So the next thing is I'm going to show you. This is what I spent a year figuring out. I wrote a 60-page paper about this, and I keep learning more. There's three kinds of stories. The first one is origin story. I'm just gonna have to. I don't know if I have time to show you guys these videos right now. I'll send you these links. So there's this one. Where do we got here? So you've seen the Nike ad, right? There's an ad like this. It has a voiceover. It's kind of like, so this one's called Nike Find Your Greatness, and it's just about find your greatness, right? It's about a feeling. It's more about just like letting people know that Nike is there still. Nike puts out a lot of ads like this. Nike doesn't need to do direct response ads that are like, go to our store and buy shoes. They don't need to do that. They just need to remind people that they're there and that they care about the audience. And so this here is just saying, like, find your greatness. There's a big old campaign for that like 10 years ago. So this is your Nike ad. When I say origin story, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. So let's go to, but the first thing you need to start with, if it's a new product or if it's a product people just don't, if you're not Nike, the origin of their problem, you need to bring up the person's problem first. This is the basic problem solution, right? You have a hook, you have problem solution, and then you try to send them to buy something. But an origin story ad can just be an interesting story. It can be the story of how you got started. It could be the story of how you made your product. It's about a feeling, and then the elements of that feeling that you're getting should be throughout the entire campaign and everything you make. And it's different based on the product and the customer that you're selling it to. So Nike, for example, they're just they're telling a story, but they're also trying to get people to have a feeling. And it's not, as you notice, Nike doesn't tell like a big 3-act play. It's not like a story with a rising action, a climax, and a falling action. There's probably a climax or something at some point in this Find Your Greatness ad, right? But basically it's telling one part of a story. That awareness is what they're going for. That feeling is what they're going for. So they're trying to target a specific desire. And that ad was really good for like find your greatness. They're trying to target the desire to be great and feel great. So you wear Nike if you want greatness, I guess is the idea behind that. So the job of the origin story here, this first one, is to build awareness. And that's the one that you're telling when people are problem aware, but not solution aware. They're just not aware. You're trying to let them know about it. Yeah, you can find all sorts of examples of that. The next one is function story. It's just how it works. Like function, we're talking about how the product works. It could be a tutorial, and I've seen that. And then how does the customer use it, and what job the product does for that person. So you could say like this product, you take 3 capsules with water every morning. That's it. That's the function story of how it works, or how the customer uses it. And then you can talk about this is going to improve your immune system. It has antioxidants, and this is what antioxidants do for you. That's more about how the product actually works. And sometimes for certain products, you don't even want to share, because I have a customer who they have a special weather station. They don't want to talk about how their weather station works, because that would be sharing industry information that they don't want anybody knowing. But you plug it in, you stick it in your yard, and you find weather for yourself instead of weather from the airport or whatever. So origin story, function story. The function story is what you want to tell when your customers are at the awareness of their solution aware. You just want to tell them that your solution exists, and by saying like how it works, how the customers use it. The next, let me look at this function story example. So this is Canva, and it's basically just, okay, so they're coming in. They have to do this quick logo replacement. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
Can hear it, but I guess we'll check it out after the meeting. I mean,
Logo
for this
replacement.
one, we don't really need sound.
No, you
pretty
don't.
straightforward. I like, yeah.
Yeah. So the idea here is it's just here. This is how it works. You press a button, and it changes the logo across everything before anybody else, like before the important people show up to see it, right? And it's an interesting little story, like, oh no, the higher ups are showing up. We need to quickly make this change before they get here, and it's done in seconds, right? But that's their function story. That's them saying, this is how Canva works. Like, there's so many different ways that they can say how Canva works, right? Like all these little mini tutorials. Look how easy that was. And that's kind of what you're trying to show people, right? Is how the solution is easy and fast. That's good too. So origin story's job is to build awareness, let people know you exist. The job of the function story is to get leads. After somebody watches the function story, like, this is how it works. So for a videographer, you could say, like, if you have a different way that you work than everybody else, you could just say, this is the process that I go through. I come up with a strategy. Like, I understand your customer. I sit down and I ask you questions about your brand, and then I figure out what kind of ad we need to make for you, rather than just making any video, that you're asking for. We're going to figure out exactly what you need, and then I'm going to go to work for you and come up with a good concept, and I'm going to make sure that you know what I'm doing, and we're going to make the ads that you actually need versus just making any old ad. So that's the function that I do. I'm going to sit down with you and we're going to have a consultation, and we're going to talk about what you need. So the job for that is to bring leads, so that you want people to go click to a website, and then the web page can sell them on it more, or the next piece of content is the thing that's going to try to sell them, right? So this is like find out more, right? The call to action after this kind of ad is just find out more. You want them they need more information, so they should go to your website to read more about your product, right? Than what a video can do for you. Oh goodness. Looks like we got 10 minutes left. I might have to restart another one. And then I'll just send the link out again, or you guys stay in and I jump out. We'll figure it out. The next one is effectiveness story. It's about how well the product solves the problem. So right here, this is a really good one. Dyson. The history about Dyson, they replaced the bagged vacuum cleaners with a cyclone. So they're showing, here, I'll just show it. It's 30 seconds. You don't need the audio. So they're using smoke to show the difference between a vacuum cleaner bag and just using a cyclone. So air has to flow through. They add some dust. It gets clogged. So the problem is that your bags are getting clogged. It's not efficient. And then here's Dyson. No bag, no loss of suction. Very clearly, it's much better than a bag vacuum cleaner, right? And now most vacuum cleaners are bagless. So that was them showing why it was better. It was showing the problem with the current solution and why their solution was better and why it's the best alternative. So all three of these working together, that's a sales funnel. If you need to, you start there with the origin story and then move on to the function story and then tell them the effectiveness story. The job of the effectiveness story is to convert sales, right? So at this point, you're really just trying to tell them what you're telling the customer everything that they need to know in these 3 steps to make a purchase. And that's ultimately, it's really funny. I'll ask marketers all the time. I'm like, what's the goal of this creative, like this video that we're making? And they'll say, well, it's going on TV. Well, we want conversions. We want sales. And I'm like, okay, but do you want people to immediately go and buy something after watching this video? Or do you want them to find out more? What's the next step after they watch this video? Like, think of every step that the customer is going to take before they make the purchase. And you have to, put all these things together. If you've seen Purple Mattress or Squatty Potty or what is it called? Kodiak Cakes or any of those ads, like you notice the spokesperson ads, they take you through all 3 of these, like all at once. So
in the same ad?
Yeah, in the same ad. So if you've seen those, those are usually like a script and you have somebody explaining it to everybody. And then sometimes you need words, sometimes you don't need words. And it's kind of up to you to just figure out what's going to work best. If I'm putting stuff out on social media, a lot of the time, you need to have all 3 of these things going. I need to make people aware of the brand that I'm working for. So I make ads that have no words, but they show really cool shots and they have a specific feeling. People should be getting the feeling that they're going to get some energy out of the supplement that I'm selling, or they should get some feeling of safety if you're selling pest control. Just try to think about what's the desire? What's the big desire that people have with this product and they want it to do for them? And that desire should be in all 3 of these, right? So little elements of this origin story should be in all 3. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions at this point? Anybody?
I'm pretty good so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'm going to move on to the next thing.
No questions? All right.
Sweet. I'm going to go to the next one here. We've got, wait, go back. It's being slow, isn't it? Okay. So the first thing that I do when I actually come up with an idea, first you come up with ideas based on these 3 things, these kinds of stories. What kind of story are you telling, right? You think of the customer as they're the main character, and the company is basically like if the customer is Frodo, then Gandalf, you're Gandalf. You're the guide. You're just trying to help them on their journey to solving their problem that they may or may not know that they have, right? He's like, Frodo, you have this issue. If you guys watch or read or watched the movies, Lord of the Rings.
My wife loves it.
It's
so
awesome.
I get the reference, but honestly, I've never watched it.
It is good. So the hero is sitting there. He doesn't know he has a problem. Gandalf shows up and says, you have a problem. Your world's about to be destroyed and you can help.
Yeah.
And then he's like, how's it going to work? You're going to carry that ring to Mordor. And he's like, what? Are you kidding me? And you're going to be better. You know, you guys are small, but you got some heart. You can do it. And
You're gonna
so,
bring your friend along and yeah,
right. So
and fight
Gandalf is
monster.
just
Yeah.
like, gives them the message and gives them the reason to do it. And they're like doing it for the Shire, right? And that's their biggest desire. So you're trying to target health, wealth, or safety with the desire. And definitely all three of those for Frodo is what it was. But if it's pest control, it's safety. If it's a supplement, it's health. And there's different ways you may, depending on the product, you might want people to feel sexy after they take your product. That's really like cigarette companies can't tell you that cigarettes make you feel good and make you feel sexy. They can only show ads that make you look sexy, right? Smoking or whatever. If you think about it, because the government or the FDA, and definitely it's like, I mean, I don't want to ever sell cigarettes, but I'm just saying, like, for example, cigarettes, the only thing they can do is this origin story and maybe show somebody using it, but they can't, like, you know, maybe the effectiveness is
Yeah, when you're dead
right.
on your death, but yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
you
that's
can have
very effective.
cigarettes that, yeah, maybe you have cigarettes
Very
that
effective.
taste better. I don't know. If that's a thing. So we've got all that stuff. So anyway, so you're helping them. So you need to figure out what story you need to tell. This is an ad that I had thrown together to show people about like origin story. Okay. So we have a sun flying through the air. I wrote the beats out. The first thing you do when you make these ads, this is my pre-production process. You just write out what happens and what order it happens so that you can read through it. You come up with an idea like this really quick and you can reorder things. You can just look at it. Does this make sense? So he flies to the earth thrown by his dad. He's getting swung around, spun around, chased around. Son, dad, and grandpa, so it's all three generations, are outdoors playing and they're having their little picnic. Dad sits down to take a breath. Son gives dad a product. I'm gonna have to blur these out, but that's an actual product. Grandpa's having fun. Then we see them hiking through a field. They hike up a hill through some trees, and they finish at this great overlook. Grandpa makes it there first, and then dad's looking tired behind him. And grandpa pats him on the back, gives him the product, and joins him for the view. And they all laugh. The kid plays in the background, right? So they're enjoying this time together, and and this product helps them do that. And it's kind of showing how it works, but really it's mostly just trying to get this feeling across of family togetherness and being out doing what you want with who you love. And then this isn't really so much about well, it is kind of targeting a problem a little bit, right? He's tired, so they give him the product and he's not as tired. That's kind of the idea.
Mm.
Let me see here. I think so. Who's on here? Danny, Jared, Tahir, Charles. Okay, I'm gonna jump out and jump back in and see if this works. If not, I'm gonna send you guys another link if that's okay.
Okay.
Got
Yeah,
like a minute
I'll go.
left. All right, cool. I'm going to see what happens if I just jump out. One second here. I'm gonna leave meeting. Assign a new host. Okay, Charles, I'm gonna assign you as a host. And
All
I'm
right.
gonna